Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and don't forget to leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And stick around to the end of the video because at the end, I'm going to read two cool comments. Yeah, I'm gonna read two cool comments and I got a little story to tell at the end. So stick around to the end of the video. So today we're gonna answer a very interesting question. I like this question a lot. This guy sent me a message and he said to me, and I've heard this so many times. If I had $1 for every time I got this message, I'd have like $1,000. And what he said was he doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand the dynamics of society. He doesn't understand why we get along, or should I say don't get along the way that we do. He doesn't understand like what's going on with the male female relationship. He doesn't understand what's going on like in society in general. He's like, look at all of these negative things that are happening. Look at people getting shot. Look at the government, being all over the place. Look at us not being able to relate to each other. Look at all these couples breaking up. Look at all these kids being abandoned. And he's like, why is it that all of this is happening? And I was like, people ask me that same question about different things at different times. And one of the things I want to say that's very basic, I mean, you can get into the semantics and the politics and the history. I mean, you could do a whole thesis on this, maybe get 2 or 3 volumes out of it. But this is very simple to me. And I talk about this every single day. I feel like the reason how come our relationships in general, as a society, as a global society, the reason why our relationships and everything is upside down is because we don't treat each other well. I talk about this all the time. I talk about being polite to each other, being kind to each other, learning how to communicate effectively in relationships, going to therapy and healing what's inside of you so you won't take it out on other people. I talk about this all the time. And this is what is the problem. Also, people don't take accountability for their actions. There's a constant blame game. It's constant. I don't care who it is, what group it is, if it's male and female, if it's Democrat and Republican. There's a constant dichotomy and a constant blame game. People just don't take accountability and say, you know what, you did this, you handle what you did, but I'm going to look at my part and handle my part. People don't do that. They keep pointing at the other person and they never look at their own backyard. So when you ask me what the hell is going on, what is wrong, what is wrong with our society? Why aren't our relationships working? It's because people refuse to treat each other well. And it's a very basic answer. Look, listen to that answer. That's something a child can see. But it happens every day. And when I talk to people about change, when I talk to people about growth, a lot of people gravitate towards that because they do want a better life. They do want better situations. So a lot of people do gravitate towards that, but it's not everybody. Every so often, I get a lot of excuses. Not even every so often. Every day, I get a lot of excuses. And I get all kinds of other energy to why people just refuse to treat other people better. And a lot of it has to do, when you really take a look at it, a lot of it has to do with the relationship you're having with yourself. When I didn't have a good relationship with myself, when I wasn't giving myself enough love, and when I wasn't really allowing myself to explore and take accountability for the things that I was fucking up on, when I was doing that, it wasn't as easy to be loving towards other people. When you're not being loving towards yourself, it's very hard to be loving towards other people. As a matter of fact, you're more than likely irritable, usually for no reason, and a lot of times you'll take that out on other people, or you'll hold it in and take it out on yourself. And I know for me, I took it out on people who did something to me. So if you didn't do anything to me, me and you were cool. But if somebody did something to me, then they would become the target of my venom. And it's still not cool. If they did something or not, it's not cool to be spewing that venom on other people that really is only there because of the relationship you're having or lack thereof with yourself. So the reason why we don't treat each other better is because we don't treat ourselves well. If you don't treat yourself well, if you don't value yourself, how are you going to see the value in another person? You're not. In a lot of cases, some people might try, some people might, hit the mark a little something something, but for the most part, most of us who don't really love ourselves enough have a hard time giving that love to other people. So what happens? Look at our society. This is what happens. We start not treating each other well, and it didn't happen overnight. It just like, I think if you look at history and try to look at when people treated each other, the earth, and themselves the best, you can look all the way back. You can look all the way back to like hunters and gatherers before you'll really find it. It started a long time ago. And people, I think, me personally, if you ask me when did it start, it started when people went from being hunters and gatherers, decided to be more, more like, what's the word for that when you stop being a nomad and you decide, I forgot what the word is for it, but basically it's when you decide to set roots, when you decide to settle down. So instead of being a nomad and walking from state to state, I'm going to create a farm, and I'm going to, have some animals, and I'm going to be here, and we're going to start using money. Around that time is when people started, in my opinion, from reading history, that's when people started to not treat each other well. And at first it wasn't everybody, it was only somebody here and there. And then over time, greed, I think money had a great deal to do with it. Over time, greed, the accumulation of wealth, things like that. And it's gotten worse and worse. I think every generation gets a little bit worse. So now we're at a state where I know I can speak for the United States. You can see how high the crime rates are. You can see how high the domestic violence rates are. You can look and see how many people, relationships end in divorce. I mean, you can just see that we're not treating each other well by the statistics. The numbers point it out. And so when people come to me and they say, why is this? Why do people do this? Why did my boyfriend lie to me and mess with this girl around the corner? Why did my wife, drain out our bank account and disappear? People are doing different things to each other because they're not valuing themselves. They're not valuing the people in their lives. And then they do all kinds of heinous things. And that's the root of it. The root of it is just simply not treating ourselves and each other well. So when I say that, the next question then becomes, how can we change it? It's actually a pretty easy fix. All we really have to do is start treating each other better. Very easy, right? And you do it in your own home. You do it in your own space. You talk about it amongst your own family and your own friends. And you only allow people around you who are also of that mind. So you don't allow people around you. First of all, you have to start to love yourself. For people who don't have enough self-love, it starts with self. Because you're only going to be able to do that if you love yourself. So you go to therapy, you get some self-help, you do what you have to do to strengthen your self-love. And then you start to give that energy out to other people. So you don't allow people around you who are not giving you love. You don't allow people in your circle that don't treat you well. Regardless of if they're family or friends or whatever the case is, you cut off those energies, or you talk to those people about changing the relationship. Some of these relationships you might be able to actually salvage if the two of you are willing to do the work. So if you're willing to do the work, then you can change things. And if you're not willing to do the work, or the other person isn't willing to do the work, then it's time to move on. So it is an easy fix, but it's not one that a lot of people are going to want to do. A lot of people aren't going to want to look at themselves and see, where is my accountability? Not what did he do? What did she do? What did the other person do? Where is your accountability? Because in any situation, You have accountability. You have either what you did or what you didn't do. And I've been talking about this for years because I see it in so many of my clients. They'll come to me and they'll be telling me these long stories about what somebody else did to them. And then I'll say, well, what role did you play in this? And they are clueless. So my only message with this particular video is, please, number one, start treating yourself better. Start thinking of yourself a lot more. Do the things you need to do to heal from whatever you got to heal from, and then start treating other people better and demanding that they do the same. If we start to have these conversations in our neighborhoods and in our families, we can change this. It might take a few generations, but we can change it. Otherwise, it's only going to keep on getting worse. And that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at a society that's just getting worse and worse. All right, now we're going to check out some of these cool comments. The first one says, is from Be Humble. And Be Humble says, misery loves company. Affirmations online everywhere. Start the day with positivity, prayers, and positive affirmations. You know, it's very interesting to me, the concept of happiness, because some people believe that you have to be rich or you have to have everything just to be happy. And it's weird because I've been around people who were in extreme poverty and they were not moping around depressed and sad. They were just like, it is what it is. And they just, you know, did what they had to do to survive. When I first came to Costa Rica, I had went to the beach with my friends. And one of the things they have here are bathrooms that you have to pay to use. So they have a toilet, they give you a little bit of toilet paper, and they have like showers, and you know, you can go in, you can pay $0.25 or $1 or whatever it is to use the facility. So we went to the beach and they had one of these paid bathrooms there. So I had to go. So I paid to go to the bathroom, my little 25 cents. And when I came out of the bathroom, directly in my line of sight was a man in the shower. He had swimming trunks on, and he was in the shower with the infant baby. Infant, I mean like a week old maybe, and maybe older than that, because baby was laughing, and I don't think infants that little laugh yet. Whenever babies start to giggle and coo, this baby was, I'm thinking that's maybe like 3 months. So this baby was in the shower with his father getting washed up, and the father was so lit up. So you could tell he was proud of his baby. He was giggling and playing with the baby, and the baby was just, the baby didn't know that they were poor and living in the homes that were close by this beach were what we would call, I don't know what they would call them. I've never seen them anywhere in like the United States, but they were like little small homes that didn't have a bathroom. It was just like rooms for sleeping in. And these homes were all around this bathroom place. And he lived in one of those. And even though he had nothing, not even a bathroom, not even a shower to wash his baby, he still was happy and was making the best of the life that he had. And that touched me, because I was like, man, if I don't have whipped cream for my pie, I'm upset. If I don't have ginger ale for my vodka, I got an attitude. But he, you know, he making the best out of what he has and doing it with a smile. And I was just like, wow, it's not all about money. Peaches Smith. Peaches said, saggy men will cheat no matter he's married or not. They love ladies, period. Saggy women are loyal, not cheaters, as long as she love you. I disagree. I know a lot of sage women who've come to me for counseling that were cheating. So I can't agree with this one, sis. Peaches, thanks for the comment, but I cannot co-sign this one. I know personally at least about 16 women who've come to me over the years and they were Sag. And I'm not saying all Sagittarius cheat. It's just something that their sign is commonly known for. The men and the women. We can't blame this one on the fellas. And I think that you said if they, as long as they love you, I don't think it really has much to do with the love as it has to do with the freedom. Sagittarius are a lot like Aquarius, and we like our freedom and we're very non-committal. Aquarius don't have as high of a tendency to cheat, but Sagittarius do. Now, again, not all of them. I've gotten messages from a lot of Sagittarius who were like, I would never cheat. I've never done that, you know? So it's not all of them, but it is something that the sign is commonly known for. Okay? Thanks for your comment. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So please come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.